So, although I haven't watched Secret of the Kells, I do have a basic understanding of the film due to my sister's interest in Irish movies and Celtic mythology. Other than that, I have watched a commentary video about it by YouTuber Bionic Pig, and my expectations have been heightened to say the least. After the watch, I expect to be blown away by the use of 2D animation and the art style, and for there to be a mix of Celtic mythology along with the fictional story that follows our protagonist. I do expect there to be a flaw within the dialogue and the pacing of the overall film, as mentioned in the movie. Not the movie, the video. I've learned that from the video that the movie is set in Ireland and that there has been active raids and attacks from the Northermen or these Viking conquests. So this is me after watching Secret of the Kells. It is no secret that I absolutely love this film. It's so breathtaking, and I love how even though 3D animation was like taking a more modern, more approach during this time, it still chose to use 2D drawing animation, so it was a really nice, just breath of fresh air. The setting itself allows it to establish the ambiance of the town, the Abbey, I believe, that inhabits the story's protagonist, Brendan. In reference to Bill Gibron's review of the animated film, little grass huts supporting an ominous rough-boarding presence, the wall, and in the center of the town, a skyscraping tower provides the film a focal points that mirror the solemn storyline being told. The movie tells a story about Brendan and his journey to complete the Book of Kells with illustrator Aidan. Aidan, the master illustrator, was able to escape from the destruction and attack of his village and took refuge in Brendan's village. He serves as a supportive role to Brendan, aiding the boy's exploration of art by giving him the role of illustrator for the Book of Kells, or Iona. In the midst of this, Brendan's uncle, Abbott, was totally against the actions of these two. He is more concerned with the attacks and preventing them by building a wall around the village, the Abbey, in hopes that it'll stop the Northern. The story is filled with illustrators but they're just used. The town is filled with illustrators or monks, but they were put to the task of putting up the wall. The art style is reflective of the original artwork of the Book of Kells, filled with swirling patterns and bright colors. And the short sequence that I chose to focus on was when Brendan goes into the forest to retrieve some sort of special berries for Aidan so they can make ink for the book. And there he meets Aisling, a fairy who owns the forest. She shows Brendan her forest, and they happen upon a tree where Aisling states that the berries that he's looking for should be up there. So he begins to climb. The only reason why she decided to show him the berries or help him was because she had to make a promise that he wouldn't show up to the forest ever again. The scene marks the beginning of Brendan's transformation. Initially, he is fearful and reluctant, symbolizing the confinement of both external and internal limitations. The limitations being his uncle Abbott, who, as stated before, disapproves of the act of the creation of the book. However, as he interacts with Aisling, he is drawn into a new world. And as he interacts with Aisling and Aidan, he is drawn to a new world. One where the boundaries between the real and mystical blur. This moment foreshadows his eventual growth into a person who transcends the fears that have previously held him back, as he begins to understand the significance of the Book of Kells, not just as a religious artifact, but also as a vehicle for preserving the imagination and knowledge of his people.